were told was that the light rail line in Norfolk would cost $232 million. It's currently at a $56 million cost overrun at $288 million. And that does not include the $25 million of unexpected funds to move utility lines. That's outside the 288 number. There are 9 light rail cars, and it is an expandable service. Estimated ridership will be 11,700. We use the number 12,000. Merely a drop in the bucket if you look at the number of cars and people that move up and down the 64 to swing out. We approve that. I'm going to talk about that. We have an environmental impact study. John referenced, that's where the facts are. We cannot have a debate until you have facts.
Have drivers.
We cannot have a debate until you have traffic. Something we might want to think about if we want to implement a more intelligent, futuristic mass transit solution. Trains, what do they cost? They're between $3 to $4 million a piece. They have good news. They last about 40 years, so they're not going to wear out. They have the good news. They last about 45 million dollars. Not going to wear out. Center Circuit City Rail Stop. We get a cost of $418 million. I don't know what the cost is going to be for the flyovers over the main arteries yet, which they didn't have to do in Norfolk, but we're going to have to do in Virginia Beach. So whatever that is gets added to this. And just picking a number out of thin air, 50 buses, I have no idea, $20 million. Now, where did I come up with that? This slide shows you all of the vehicles that HRT has today. They have 320 buses in their fleet, along with the electric buses in Norfolk and their vans and their 9-line rail. That's probably a low number. I don't know. The good news is when the environmental impact study is done, we will know. The federal process. I'm going to move through this kind of quickly because there's a lot of detail and we don't have a lot of time. The thing you need to understand is it's an incredibly complicated process that we're involved in. The good news is that Michael Towns, who is the past president of APTA, is incredibly well versed on how to deal with this federal process. You are blessed to have an extremely knowledgeable guy running the show who can work his way through this process. You're going to talk about the Transportation Equity Act, ICE-T, Metropolitan Planning Organization, the T reauthorization this year, the environmental impact study process. How do you select? How does the Federal Transit Administration select fixed guideway projects? How do you win the money? Because we're going to have to compete for the funds. How does the federal gas tax get directed to transit in the first place? In the draft environmental impact study through the MPO, monies were allocated and we approved and are in the process of awarding a $5.7 million study contract. $1.5 million is available. We're expecting $4.3 additional million in federal funds. During the briefing at City Council this week, he was asked, Mike Towns, what happens if they don't come? And Michael Towns said, well, I think I can find the money through the MPO, through the STP funds. And you're probably going, huh? Those are surface transportation funds.